We'll just kill all that background. How's that? All right, guys. Welcome to Fallible Man Live. It is awesome to see you guys here. Hey, Jess. Welcome to the live stream. Guys, if you don't know me, my name is Brent, and this is the Fallible Man live stream. We are a place that handles men, right? We help support men in all of their roles. Everybody's starting to chime in. And today we're talking about 7 habits for a strong marriage. Now, you don't have to be married to be part of this podcast. You can be in a relationship. And I don't even know if this is a podcast. I do podcasts so often, probably calling that wrong. But guys, you can be in a relationship. You can be married. But guys, we're going to give you 7 habits that you need to develop to be successful in your relationships. Hi, Mike. Good to see you. Guys, stick around. We're going to give away a book today. If you're on the podcast or on the live stream, I'm going to say podcast 1,000 times, and I'm sorry now. But guys, we are giving away The Good Fight by Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott. And we're going to give that away to one lucky listener. You guys can check that out because, guys, there is a way to fight and win, and everybody should learn how to do it. So stick around for that. That will be later in the stream today. And tell us where you're joining us from. We'd love to know. As everybody joins this live stream, I found out that nobody starts on time, which doesn't surprise me at all. But hey, I'm glad you're here. Guys, we're going to have some games. We're going to have some fun. And we're going to talk about habits that will improve your marriage. But before we get too far into it, well, never mind. Let's just get into it, shall we? Be better tomorrow because of what you do today. Guys, if you're here, it's because you want to work on your marriage, and we want to help you work on your marriage. We want your marriage to be successful. We care about your relationship, and we care about you being the best person you can be. And normally I make content for men, but tonight, hey, grab your loved one, watch it together, join in because this is for both of you guys. So we're going crazy tonight. We're addressing everybody. Now, sound off in the comments. Tell us where you're from. And check in, sound off, guys. I see a lot of Central Washington people. I see Jessica. I see Mike. Good to see you guys. I see my wife jumping in. My kids are jumping on the live stream because they love me, and someone's got to watch this. But guys, sound off in the comments as you join in, and we're going to keep rolling and just get right into it. Sound off in the comments if you are a married person. Tell us how many years you have been married. Comment in the chat. Let's see it out, guys. How long have you been married? I'll cheat. I'll tell you, I've been married for 20 years to an amazing woman who is much smarter than I am. And we're going to roll right into point number 1. Guys, one of the most important habits you can develop as in a healthy relationship, in a marriage, is maintaining engagement of physical intimacy. And guys, we're not talking about all the fun things that everybody wants to talk about. We're not suggesting and just talking about sex in your marriage. We are talking about physical intimacy. That means a lot of things to a lot of people, but we're talking about little touches. Don't ever, ever, ever stop with little touches, with hand holding, with cuddling, with hugs, with kisses, hands on the shoulder, hands on the legs. There are all kinds of little physical touches that occur. Wow, 28 years. Nice representing. There are all kinds of little physical touches that you can be involved in throughout your day that speak intimacy to your spouse. It doesn't have to be sex. In fact, 90% of your physical intimacy is probably not that, especially if you got kids or both of you work. One of the most important things you can do, though, is keep that physical touch alive, guys. Be that couple that drives everybody insane. Keep touching each other. Keep holding hands. In fact, sound off in the comments. Tell us, do you still hold your spouse's hand in public? Is that something that you guys do? Do you still hold your spouse's hand in public settings? or has that moved out of your array of things you do as a couple? Be sure and share with us, sound out, and tell us what you think. Now, one of the other things you need to do, besides continuing to hug and kiss and hold hands and put your arm around each other and cuddle, uh, one of the things that I love about my brother and his wife is they've never allowed their kids to sit in between them because they put themselves together. That's something I've always looked up to in their relationship. And so, guys, make that a priority. In fact, I just got through a parenting class with my wife where that was one of the big things they conferred. Hi, Mom. Good to see you on here. That's one of the things they conferred is making your marriage a priority in front of your kids actually does better for your kids. It's one of the things we don't do very often. It's one of the things people often miss out on. But continuing to make your marriage a priority over everything else, demonstrating that children will actually build a stronger relationship for your kids. It will build more stability in your home. So keep it up. We're not to that one yet, dear. Next, okay, point number 2, guys, is I want you to practice free and open communication. Now, if you've ever watched my YouTube channel before, you know I'm a big believer in open communication. Welcome, Rascal Pound. I believe in communication so much. I recommend a lot of books, all kinds of. In fact, the book we're giving away today is all about learning to communicate when you're fighting. And you guys will sound off in a second. In fact, go ahead and type hashtag good fight in the comments there it is on the screen. If you want to have a chance to win this book, type in hashtag good fight in the comments, guys. I'm seeing people from Facebook. I'm seeing people from YouTube. It's good to see all you guys here. I'm glad you're here today. But you need to continue to practice free and open communication. Learn to communicate better. Invest in communication, guys. Go to a counselor if you need to. Read books. And there's nothing wrong. Going to a counselor doesn't mean that your marriage is trashed. Going to a counselor means that you guys are learning to communicate sometimes. Do that. Guys, invest in it. Read books on it. Go to classes in it. If you're part of a church group, go to classes in your church. And if they're not having classes about communicating in your marriage, go to them and ask for those classes, guys. Be proactive. Learn to communicate. Let me help you guys out in the comments. Make good fight, hashtag good fight, one word. That way, when we draw a little bit later, the algorithm will pick out the right things. So surely go ahead and make that hashtag good fight, one word. Guys, you can spend your life learning to communicate better, and it is not wasted. In fact, it will just benefit your marriage. It will just benefit your life together. Invest in your communication. That is point number 2. Point number 3, find new ways to connect with one another. As a person, you continue to grow and change as an individual, right? I'm a big believer in only dead things stop growing. And so as an individual, you will continue to grow and change and evolve as you mature and become the person you're going to become. But now you've meshed 2 people together. You've meshed 2 people together to make one couple. And guess what? Both of you are growing together. And if you're both growing together, that means that you're both going to change. You're going to have to learn to find new things. You're going to have to find new experiences, new ways to connect, because how you connected when you first got married isn't going to be the same as how you connect 5 years in your marriage, how you connect 10 years in your marriage. And guys, if you're joining us in the replay of this later, I'm talking to you too. All of you who are joining us later on YouTube, I'm talking to you guys just as much as the guys who are on the live stream. You have to learn to evolve as a couple, learn to connect, find new things together, because you will change. Now, obviously, some things that you enjoyed in your younger years of marriage, you're still going to enjoy later, but you will grow, you will change, and you will have to learn to find new ways to connect with one another, to bring you together, new things to do together, new things that you like to do, new things that you enjoy as a couple, that is going to evolve. And it's just one of those things that you cannot get away from. Now, guys, I want you to share in the chat what you think one habit is that is critical to marriage. Go ahead and put the asterisks around it so we can see it easy, and tell us what you think one habit is that is absolutely critical to your relationship, to your marriage, and share that with the community, guys. Let us see what you have to say. We want to know your input on this as well. We want to know what you think is important and what has worked in your relationship, because some of you guys have been married longer than we have. So benefit the entire group and share what habit, right, with the asterisks around it, what habit helps you guys in your marriage and helps grow your marriage. I had to flip my paper here. Going faster than I thought. Yay. If you're joining us on the live stream, guys, we're talking about 7 habits for a strong marriage. Now, if you're joining us, thank you. This is my second live stream, and they make me nervous as all get out. I'm much better on my podcast. But I'm glad you're here today, and I thank you for joining the time. I'm seeing communication. Yep, we talked about communication in the first or the second point. That is incredibly important to us. And praying together. You know what? That is a very valid thing, especially for a lot of couples who find and hone their belief system into the core of their marriage. I think is very helpful. And so praying together can be a very beneficial habit to develop as a couple. Let's see. Sharing what we like about ourselves with each other. We spend too much time putting ourselves down. You're right. We need to learn to communicate the positive. In fact, we're often our worst critics and tend to criticize ourselves to the people who love us the most. Case in point, I was sharing this live stream with my family earlier, and it was really awkward because I feel really weird sharing that with my family. Like, who am I to share these things? So yeah, we're often our worst critic. So communicating what we like about ourselves with that person we love is so important, because it keeps the communication open. It helps us to understand each other. And so that is absolutely valid. Thank you for sharing so much. Is that Cam? I'm not sure. I don't recognize the Rascal Pound. I think that's Cam. It's nice to have you on here. Now, guys, make sure if you want to win The Good Fight by Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott to put in the comments. All right. This is a great book. My wife and I have actually been through this class. Put in the comments, hashtag good fight, one word. Let's keep going. Now, point number 5, and we're making good time, so I'm not even going to hold you guys that long. Okay. Or sorry, point number 4 is you need to fix any fights you might have in the right time. And guys, this is something that I actually learned in this class about this book we're giving away, The Good Fight, with Les and Leslie Parrott, which just, we'll see how many times I can say that. Comment in the comments how many times I say that through this podcast or through this show. Learning what makes your partner happy. That's right. Learning what makes your partner happy is important. And it's harsh when your partner takes that for granted. So that's very valid. Guys, you need to learn to fix fights in the right time. Now, people like to say you should never go to bed angry, which is not always a good answer. Because think about it, right? This idea of forcing a fix just makes a problem. How many of us actually like to be forced into a conflict or forced into a discussion when we're angry, right? That doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound like something we really want to do. But yet, a lot of people put out this concept of never go to bed angry, never go to bed when the sun goes down, never go to bed angry, or don't go to bed. I don't know. I can't say it right. All right. That's a bunch of hogwash, guys. You're right. You need to solve it as a couple. You need to come to a solution. You need to discuss it. But guys, one of the things I learned in that class, and one of the things I actually have come to believe is forcing a confrontation right at the time of the fight when you're both already angry is a stupid idea. And let me make that really clear. It's a stupid idea. If you want to stay married, you and your spouse need to develop a plan. You need to develop a plan that says, okay, when we have a conflict, we're both going to walk away for a minute if we need to, or say, set a time. Say we're going to walk away for 30 minutes and we're going to write down some of our feelings and thoughts and be on our own for 30 minutes. But come up with a plan. That's one of the most successful ways to fight, is to come up with a plan, guys. So that way you know that it's going to be resolved and you don't feel like you're forced into trying to resolve it at that moment, because that is likely just going to end up in a huge, huge fight with you guys. Shout out if you like the studio view, guys. This is what it looks like behind the scenes when I'm doing these things. All the lights, all the cameras. I can't look this pretty most of the time, and I certainly don't look this pretty without all the lights and pretty effects, right? Guys, what am I saying here in the comments? You shouldn't go to bed angry, but that doesn't mean you will solve the problem before you both go to bed. Okay, valid point. Sometimes you need to come to a peaceful agreement, and that is, you may not solve the problem before you go to bed, but if you've already come up with a plan for how you're going to deal with it, which is why I want to share this book with you, is if you come up with that plan beforehand, then you don't have to worry about it, right? You can not be mad because you know you're going to come together tomorrow and fix whatever the problem is. And that is something that is very valid, guys. Plan your fights and you will succeed every time. Number 5, talk positively to one another. One of the things I am seeing more and more that just drives me insane is there is no end to the negativity in our lives, right? We work through sarcasm, we work through huffy looks, but we're really good at pointing out negative stuff, but we're really bad at talking about the positive. And I'm not saying you have to run around and say, hey, you're a great, okay, I'm not a words of affirmation guy. My wife is a words of affirmation person, and that really is a struggle for me as I try and learn to speak her love language. But I'm saying the way you say things. One of the things I learned from my dad growing up is I have a loud, strong voice. And so one of the things he always used to yell at me that drove me nuts was, watch your tone, watch your tone, watch your tone, because that's what people hear regardless of the words you use. And that's what I'm talking about. Learn to talk positively to number one, to each other. You need to talk with love and care and affection. You need to talk with kindness in your voice. Learn to talk kindly. Shy away from sarcasm. Let all the frustrations and the nastiness of the world go away and learn to talk to each other with kindness in your voice, with love, with cherishing in your voice, no matter what you're saying, right? And I hate to compare this to dogs, but right, everybody who's had a dog, sound off in the comments. Tell me in the comments, have you ever had a dog before? Because if you have, you know what I'm talking about. You can say the meanest thing in the world to the dog, but as long as the tone, you also need to agree to disagree, allow others to be who you are. Okay? You need to work on the tone, right? Because the dog hears how you say it, not what you say, right? That's why you can say things to your dog like, "Oh, aren't you a pretty idiot?" Right? The dog has no idea you're being mean. It's just what you hear. Now, I'm not saying your spouse is a four-legged animal, but the way you're saying things to them is huge, guys. The way you're talking to them conveys so much to the person you're speaking to, so much more than the words you use most of the time. Over 70% of communication is nonverbal, guys, and your tone has a lot to do with the communication that comes through your vocal cords. Now, we're going to play a little game. I hope you guys will play with me. I got a little video for you, just a few seconds, and we're going to see how well you know your spouses. Ready? Here we go, guys. Play my game. What is your spouse's love language? Tell us in the chat. And if you don't know, go ahead and guess. Here they are. If you don't know them off the top of your head, here are the 5 love languages. If you're not familiar with that book, what is your spouse's love language? Shout it out in the comment section, guys. Let's see how well you know your spouse. And if you're watching it with your spouse, well, hopefully this doesn't get you in too much trouble because we're not trying to do that. But what is your spouse's love language? Shout it out in the comment. Tell me what you think. These live streams are a whole lot more fun when you guys share with me and share in a part of it. So I'm looking forward to what you have to say, guys. Point number 6, while we're waiting for hopefully some sharing in the comment section, share new laughs together. You have to learn to laugh together. But, try having inside jokes or a private joke between you. Those little things that frustrate you when other people do it, when you see couples and they're like, and their spouse cracks up or kind of snickers. Share laughs together, guys. You got to learn to laugh together. Laughter is one of the most healing things that you can do in a relationship. Laughing together makes you happy. It makes you look at each other differently. It is a great habit to develop. So develop some inside jokes that are just yours, uniquely yours. Do you have an inside joke? Let's see. In the comment section, I got one. It says communication is their spouse's love language. Guys, do you have quality time and physical touch? I understand those. Quality time is a big one for me. Thank you for sharing. Guys, learn to laugh together. You will heal through all kinds of trouble in your marriage. Let's see, acts of service and quality time. Those are big ones for me. Thank you for sharing on that. It builds an intimate bond when you guys laugh together. I bet you didn't know that. It actually does. It builds an intimate bond between two people to be able to laugh and joke. That joy releases chemicals in the body that just helps bond you together. It's really incredible. So learn to laugh together and continue to laugh together. Now, remember, if you want the book, hashtag the good fight, guys. Put it in the comments. We're going to be drawing for that in just a few minutes towards the end of the end of the live stream. And yep, there it is on the screen. Good fight. Hashtag good fight. And we will enter then. I've got a nice drawing set up for you guys. Now, here's a big one that maybe you haven't thought about. Don't ever stop talking about your future together, guys. Talk about the future. It doesn't matter where you are in your marriage, whether you're not married yet and you're dreaming about the future together, guys, or whether you've been married for 2 years or 5 years, 10, 20, 40, 60 years, however long you've been married, don't ever stop planning a future together and talking about it. When you talk about your future together, it paves a way for a stronger future together, but it also communicates to your spouse that you both intend to be there forever. It communicates solidarity. It communicates commitment. So you may be talking about the house you plan to build or where you plan to move or the job you're going to have in 5 years or whatever you're working towards. But your spouse is also hearing, I'm part of the plan. I'm committed to this plan and we're committed together. We're on this journey together. Never stop talking about your future. Never stop dreaming. The future is bright. And if you talk about your future together, I don't believe in manifestation necessarily, guys, but if you talk about your future together, it brings you together. You will seek it together because you've talked about it and it has become a focus. The things you focus on, the things you talk about become reality. So if you're planning a future together, then you are more likely to have a future together. It's a really, really simple idea. Now, comment in the chat below if you're watching on the replay, which point was an aha moment for you. And guys, if you had an aha moment, go ahead and comment in the chat. I'd love to know what it is. Tell me what that moment is for you. If you want forever and happily ever after, then you have to keep working. Anybody who's been married for any amount of time will tell you marriage is a constant progression together forward. Two people growing in a common direction mending their goals, mending their hearts, mending their spirits and their bodies. But it's constant work. It never stops. It is something that you have to work forward. There is no point in which you get there in your marriage, guys. My friend used to tell me you're only one bad fight away from a divorce, or you're only one bad your mom comment away from a divorce. And especially in your younger years, that's really true, guys. You have to keep working, you have to keep moving forward, you have to keep planning to be together for good. You have to plan that future together. Now, guys, we're going to make this a quick live stream tonight and nice and easy, and it is time for our drawing. So we're going to go to our drawing. Ooh, if I can get these windows right. There we go. This is our nice giveaway tool. And we'll get it larger here. So if you've typed hashtag good fight, you have one last chance, guys. I'll wait 15 seconds, long enough to type it. Hashtag good fight. If you've already done it, you don't have to do it again. And we will spin that wheel. And tonight we're going to give away The Good Fight by Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott. I'm not sure how you say it, actually. It might be Parrott, it might be Perot. Spilled Parrott. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Rascal Pound. Congratulations. If you want to send me on Facebook your mailing address, we will get that copy sent out to you, and you now have a copy of The Good Fight by Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Thanks for being a part of the stream. Really appreciate you being here. And like I said, reach out to me on Facebook. And if you don't have Facebook, you can reach out to me at info@thefallibleman.com and send me that address, and I will get that shipped out to you right away. Now, guys, I appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate you being on a live stream. But what I really want is for you to take this back to your marriage and do the best you can for your marriage. I want your marriage to be successful. We want to support you in your marriage. And guys, it matters. Being a good spouse, while I normally talk specifically to husbands, being a good spouse is important and it's constant work. And so thank you for being here. Thank you for being committed to working on your relationship. I am very grateful to see people doing that. Guys, be better tomorrow because of what you do today. And we'll see you next time.